but we did it.
It is
Three. Whoop, 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 whoop. All right. So I'm Angie.
I'm Michelle.
We're Blue Heavens.
Blue Heavens.
And we channel ancient and divine beings, and these beings teach us how to be better people, leading to better lives. And today we are going to have them come through, and we're going to talk about spiritual awakening, symptoms of it. What is it? How can we relate to it? How can you bring more insight for us so we understand what's going on? And since I used to be a computer programmer, I'm going to use some computer talk today for us to understand some of these things a little bit better also. So I'm going to put that degree to use today.
This is Cosmo. I'm impressed.
Oh, well, yeah, thank you, Cosmo. I figured you would be. You're pretty easy to please.
Let's see, you were talking about my brain cell.
Well, it doubled. So we're, that's answered prayers.
I was told I had to be good. I'm told I can't go off.
Yeah, you're not allowed to have Loki's accent.
You notice I don't have it right now. I'm not
allowed to have it at all. You've lost that. You lost it. I had to cut that out of the video because it was like 20 minutes of you like, I love this accent. Blah, blah. So you got cut.
He told me no. So
yeah. I can't cut you out of this thing though. This live.
I was told to be good. I'm scared of the old man, so I'm gonna be good. Yeah.
He should be. He's huge.
This is Azra. Speaking of the old man.
Hello, Azra.
We let Cosmo come through, introduce himself.
You gotta watch that. You gotta watch that guy.
Oh, I told him he had to be on his best behavior. Him and Loki both had been, so they start howling and singing at the beginning. So
yeah.
So let's start off from spiritual awakening. How would you like to proceed? And I feel maybe we start over here. I feel that the spirits want you to we want to start over here. So
okay. Well, I think a good representation of a spiritual awakening is the biblical story of Job.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about before, Michelle and I, and Locaeus and I, about how Job really seems to be like a spiritual awakening. So he has this life, and then it crumbles before him, and he loses everything, and he doesn't understand what he's done. He's a good person. Where did it go? He has no understanding, and his friends come in, and his friends don't get it either. Like no one understands him. So then he goes to God. God, what is this? Explain this to me. And God pretty much says, it's bigger than your understanding, but trust me. And then he gets a new life built for him. And I think that's a great representation of a spiritual awakening. We like lose everything that we thought was right and real for us. But without understanding, there's a higher purpose and something better is on its way.
And this is Michelle, and I remember some of my spiritual awakenings and some of when I started and everything else. And some of mine, it was just not understanding what was going on in my environment. I really had no idea. And they gave me an example to share, because Job is a great example of this, and it's kind of where it felt is, and I don't even know really how many years ago this was, but it's when Ghost Adventures first started. And this is kind of, I know it's going to go down one way, but you can have spiritual teachers. They don't have to be right in your area. They can be on television. They can be on YouTube. They can be anywhere you look. And I had questions. I didn't know what was going on. Like, I'd get goosebumps. What's this mean? I don't know what this means, because we were really not around anything at that moment. And Trevor mentioned, he says, there's a show called Ghost Adventures, and you need to check it out. And I said, well, I'm not going to check it out. He said, he's cute. You need to check it out. Well, you say cute, I check it out. Yeah. Okay. But he started explaining the things that was going on with me. That's why I've had such a connection with Zach Bagans, because when I was going through my spiritual awakening, which now I know that's what it was, he was explaining to me through television what it was. Right. This is how he communicates with spirit. And that's why I've got such a love for the show still, because I connect with him, because he's not my first teacher, because I'd say Sylvia Brown and down the ways of other people being spiritual teachers, but I will consider one. Only because he introduced that it's okay to be a little dark, because I am dark. I'm not a lighter. So it was, and I thought that was kind of as well. So you can get that from anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, so that, but that helped me introduce, but that kind of led me to the love of I wanted to discover spirits
Right.
because that's what he was doing. Well, not necessarily what he was doing, but it under like the goosebumps and everything else and the spiritual awakening. So you can go anywhere it makes sense to you for a spiritual awakening.
Okay, so I was reading the Bhagavad Gita yesterday, right? And I highlighted a passage that I thought was appropriate for us to have an understanding of what's going on in a spiritual awakening. So this is Krishna talking to his son Arjuna. So it says, the whole purpose of every experience, every activity, every faculty is to turn the human being inward and lead each of us back to our divine source. Thus, every person seeking satisfaction in the world outside, pleasure, power, profit, prestige, is really looking for God. As they approach me, so I receive them. All paths, Arjuna, lead to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was great because everything that we are experiencing is us reconnecting to home, where we come from. It's like where those connections are coming back to us. We're no longer being separated. We're being reconnected to divine source. And we feel that. I know I felt the energy. I'd feel a lot of energy around me and it would start to bring out anxiety because I didn't understand what I was feeling. Like why I just felt attacked sometimes. All of a sudden I just felt attacked with a lot of energy, or I'd feel buzzing around me. Now I know it's that spirit energy is like working. It's like they're upgrading our operating system. They're upgrading our digestive systems. Yeah, all our chakras are being upgraded and attuned back to where they're supposed to be. It's being healed. All these old generational sufferings are being healed. We're healing all this stuff because we can't take it with us to the new earth, to where we are ascending to.
And this is Marcus. And when I wrote that, I was trying to get to my son to make sense of things that was happening. And I knew at some point he would read that. When he left, he had no connection. I understood he didn't have the connection, but so many, you follow that ego first. And that's always like, to me, always the ego. And then when I wrote that book, you notice it goes in order of, it's very slow paced. It's not a fast paced book. It's very slow and you have to read it. You got to comprehend it. You have to read it from how Krishna would be thinking about things and how Arjuna was thinking about things. So you have to think about that. But I wrote it for my son, and because it was knowledge that I had that I wanted to give to him. And I knew that one day he would get this information.
Yeah.
And because humans are too quick to, when you're feeling all this energy, you don't know what to feel, and you allow another voice coming and telling you this, and it's an illusion. Everything in front of you is an illusion, and that's what you need to understand. Spiritual awakening is waking you up to the past that. It's like the Matrix movie you humans watch.
Yes.
It's when Neo opened his eyes for the first time, and he took the red pill and opened his eyes to see a whole new. And to me, that whole series is about the spiritual awakening. I mean, in their way, and maybe that's not how they were trying to go to that, but that's what it feels. It's like a buzzing. It's everything around you is so new, it's so different. When Neo walks out for the first time, for example, it's all new to him. So that's what a spiritual awakening is. You're awakening your senses. Mother Gaia and you are awakening together. She's awakening your senses to hit a vibration that is suitable. Because you got to remember, how long have you humans been here inhabiting her? So you have to upgrade and upgrade and upgrade. So you have to keep up with Mother Gaia. And that's what we're doing right now. We're keeping up with Mother Gaia to take care of Mother Gaia. So that's what spiritual awakening is. You're going to feel depressed. You're going to feel all of these things, but that's because you in your heart know there's something spiritual within you. So that's all really depression kind of is. It's, you feel the sadness of something that you just can't remember. There's something so much better that you cannot remember. But when you start closing your eyes, look inward on your spiritual, you see it and it makes you happy.
Yes.
So, yes.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. It's like we had to see everything, our illusion crumble in front of us. We had to see it crumble in front of us to prove it was an illusion. So we do retreat back inside because that connection to our home is inside of us, just like the Bhagavad Gita said, just like the Bible says, it's inside of us. home is inside of us. That beacon, that antenna is inside of us. And we're opening that antenna up, and we are sending and receiving signals now to where we are from. And that's happening all over the place. We're just waking up to our home planet, and that planetary system has now given us our uploads, and we're connected and supported and safe and seen, and we are ambassadors of light, and we are here to teach and rebuild a new earth. It's a beautiful thing, but it sucks as crumbling.
Well, it has to crumble for new society to start. When my son goes into the cave, I felt like I had failed in some way, because he was going through a spiritual awakening and he had no clue what was going on within him. And when you see it, the teacher sees what's going on with their student, and you can't necessarily just tell them that's what's going on with you. They got to discover this for themselves. The teacher can talk and talk and talk, but if the student doesn't understand, it's just mindless talk and a vibration. It wasn't worth it. He's like, you won't go into the cave. Now that he's out, he's much wiser. But he was going through a spiritual awakening, because now his eyes are open. He sees much different. He allowed the divine to hit. And I feel it was like Job. And he is a perfect example of Job.
Yeah.
Job. He didn't understand what's going on. And you go through your Job and you see all the misery, but not one time does he blame God for anything. He might get a little upset. But I think he's getting more upset at his friends for not understanding what he's going through. And so many people, the humans, are going through spiritual awakening. Those are the first people that don't understand what you're going through at all. Is you're going through some kind of something, and what is that? And you start losing your friends. So then you start lowering your vibration to get them back, because you don't understand why are they leaving.
Right.
When you realize that it's a good thing, let them go. They'll find you eventually, if they're meant to find you again. If they are not, then they will not. But the spiritual awakening just changes everything, and it uproots your life.
Right.
It'll uproot it like a tower. Like, you got to go through this dark. It's like, but that's how it gets you, the spirit, because your great divine knows how the people learn is through suffering. That's how they learn. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if there's another way, of course he would find another way, but this seems to be the way. But Job was the example. Right. And Job was a way of spiritual awakening, but you got to remember, in the day, there was no name for this. Right. What do you call this? Jesus is the way. He was a new spiritual awakening. Think of that. He was a spiritual awakening, bringing out to people that was the way. So somebody had coined the term spiritual awakening for now, so but you got to think back in them days, what was this called? There wouldn't have been a name, and there wasn't a name for this and that. So I already knew that these things existed. We call it all kind of different names. You humans just call it a spiritual awakening. Yeah. Simply as opening your eyes to the environment you are at and you're inhabiting. You could have a spiritual awakening in your home planet. It doesn't have to be just this particular realm. Mm-hmm. And all that means is you're raising your vibration from Mother Gaia for this planet to help you see things more different. You focus on everybody else. You start seeing it, you're one, and you flow. Like it's like water, like you just flow. It's hard to describe, but you break that illusion, it crumbles, and you start seeing something so different. But that's what you come here to do.
Right.
When I came here, I didn't know what I was going to come into. I had no clue. I just know I was blue. What am I coming into? And I knew don't stand out, of course. But it was interesting, to say the least. But it was nothing like what I expected at all. It was nothing like I thought. That's why it was like, But it was for my son. I'm trying to figure why did my son can't, And then when I was here, I'm like, you could kind of see it. They don't understand the terms and the lingo, and teachers like this, they didn't understand. And Jesus tried as well teach, and they didn't. Buddha and all the great teachers that have come forth, So that's why teachers now, they're grasping this. They're grasping information that can get people like Gabby Bernstein, Sarah Prout, Aaron Doty. We could go on to the teachers now. Wayne Dyer, there's another. Yes. I mean, yes. So we got great teachers now that are teaching. So please take advantage of these teachers, and please read my book as well, because I do it very slowly, but it helps you meditate. If you ask why the wording is, so you can read a passage, close your eyes, and allow it to sink in. And then you get to your own answers. Maybe it's not the answers that I put. Maybe it's going to be answers for you. And that's what meditation is. Right? Your own wisdom is in here in your heart. You already know the wisdom. It's just opening yourself up through meditation, or however that may be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In the stillness, we can break apart some of the stuff that's just not right. The falsifications that we hold on to, detachment. So the Bhagavad Gita talks a lot about detachment. Like, I know when we do videos, I look to see how many people have watched it. How long have they watched it? And
No.
that book is telling me, don't do that. Just do it.
No.
Do it for God and detach from it. So I'm trying to do that now. Okay, I'm just doing what he's telling me to do and I'm moving on, because we need to detach. That's going to be an entanglement in my future if I continue to do that. So that's like something that's cool.
Yes. Well, you will see you're learning. You're
Right.
learning, and you're what you had yeah, so you're learning. Detachment is, it seems like it's a very difficult thing, but indeed it's not a difficult thing. I can say that, but it really is, because you think about it, when you go home to wherever home may be, you don't take none of this with you. You leave with the soul that came with you. You came in this realm with your soul, you're going to leave with your soul. And all of this is an illusion, a happy illusion or sad illusion, but regardless, none of this is really yours. Right. So why attach to any of this?
Like my kids buy all this stuff on, they play Roblox. When you have to pay Robux, so you have to buy these things to buy things. So they have all these fake things accumulated. They're not taking that out of the game. They know they're not taking that out of the game. We need to know that we're not taking anything out of this game. It's a game. We're just here to experience everything, to remember what we are and make this a better place.
Interesting concept, game. I never thought about that. Yes, you could say life is like a game. Yes.
I feel like it is. It's a lot like the game Sims, where we make a character, and then this character interacts with other characters, and it has a job and a house, and you have to I know mine died. It peed itself to death because I couldn't put in a bathroom door. So I wouldn't make a good God. But it's what it's like. We're not that. We know we're not that, but when we're in this thing, like we're in this sim, we forget we're not this. We're like, oh my God, this is me. I'm this, but I'm just a piece of a billions, infinite piece puzzle. And I'm not seeing that bigger picture. I'm just seeing my one piece. And a spiritual awakening, you start to see you are one piece, and that there's vastness around you that you are a part of.
And this is Loki. And I would even like your ego, and it's also taking your ego and working with your ego now. Spiritual awakening is calming all of the senses down so that it doesn't get out of hand as well. You have to, where I'm at right now, because the old man keeps me separate. I mean, yes, granted, I'm an aspect. No, Cosmo, you are not an aspect. It really should be sometimes, but but acts like me. No interrupt. Sorry, he's talking while I'm talking, so it makes it difficult. Yeah, we both got our giant egos, but the spiritual awakening, when it happens, I've seen it like Marcus has said. It happens different ways for humans. Headaches, things make no sense, and it almost looks like a LSD trip to me. You can almost tell when somebody's going through it because nothing is the same to them, and they think they're going crazy. People would get locked up in the day because they didn't know what was going on with these people. Like, they would explain these things that are not there, and they're like, well, they got to lock them up. And see, now we know that's spiritual awakenings. So that this has been around for a very, very long time.
Right.
And that, so it's just awakening, and like your whole environment just crumbles in front of you. And it's like Job. We will keep, Job, because everything fell apart. He didn't know what was going on. Just like, here it is, just in front of him, and he had to face it.
Yeah.
But that's what happens in spiritual awakening. Everything falls apart, and you have to pick the pieces back up. But that's a good thing. It means your life is somewhere different now. It will lead to somewhere better. You just have to not get all out of, and don't attach. That's why they say don't attach, because if you attach to everything, that's just not good.
It increases your suffering.
It does increase your suffering, and it's just, it's not, and well, Cosmo come through? I think he has a little bit more because of and he is told he cannot have my accent. Has to make this
Yeah.
fast. I'm not allowed to have his accent. You see, he quickly takes it away from me.
No, you lost it. Lost the Cosmo.
I know. I told him I'd be good. He goes, "No, you're not." It's like, he's right. I probably wouldn't. I'd probably go an hour long in his accent. But no, people, I would watch it all the time. And I had spiritual awakenings. I think that's why I thought I was a devil.
Yeah.
But I took it the other way extreme. So, but spiritual awakenings are great. I think if you open your eyes, I did have some, I had some. My eyes were opened. I seen things differently. So I thought this is a good time to get drunk. So I totally took other way over. But how many people do that though? I mean, I'm not the only one. You can't say I'm the Cosmo, you're it. No, I'm not it.
Yeah, sometimes once your eyes start to open, you want to kind of numb it a little, like, whoa, that's a lot. Whoa, that's a mind F. Whoa, you do kind of want to.
Yes, and that's what I was doing.
Me into this crazy.
And I was just like, okay, this is getting like, it was like the best high, just spiritual being the best high.
Yeah.
But I wanted to keep it going, so
you're going
I wanted to keep
it way, huh?
Exactly. So, but then that's when I thought it was the devil, because I thought, well, maybe I did something to get myself cursed in the middle of the night. I don't know. But I was just like, yeah. But I'm going too far off topic now. I'm told to be quiet. Well, going off topic. But I'm just speaking for those that if you're going through it and you feel that that's the way, do not do that. I was stupid. Don't do that. Don't go that direction. But I'll let one of them describe what you should do. I'm just telling you what you should not be doing. I like the turtles in the background. That is so cool.
Can you see them?
Yes, I can see them.
Awesome. We have itty bitty baby. We have an itty bitty baby named Shelvis, and he's so cute.
So cute. Oh.
I want to eat him.
I think your husband might get mad if you do that.
I don't really want to eat him. I love it.
A little salt, a little pepper.
Elvis.
Okay, I'm told I have to leave now.
All right.
I'm off topic again. Who knew?
Yeah, I guess another thing I got was my daydreams increased, my nightmares increased. My nightmares got scarier, and like I could feel everything more. And I also felt the need to start changing things. And it kind of started in the nightmares. Like the nightmares would be so bad that I was on this wheel thing, like when you go to the fair and they have the pony rides and the wheel. So I was on one of those and I was walking around. So I had that yoke. So I was yoked with 8 other things, and we were just walking in a circle and we're being whipped in the yoke. And I just stopped, and they were like, you can't stop. And I just stopped. I was like, I'm not doing it anymore. And I just started like singing a song about Jesus, like Jesus. I know when it all started to crumble, and I just heard all these terrible screams, like, no. But that was part of it for me. I needed to experience something like that to show me something's not right. I need to stand up and pay attention to what's going on, face it, have faith, and move on. Like that dream scared the crap out of me, but it really helped me.
Well, this is okay. It's like you took the red pill and you woke up. It's like you just woke up, and I know we keep going to the Matrix reference, but I've watched all the 4 movies, but they make sense to me. Like Michelle told me they never made sense to her.
They always make sense to me.
They did make sense to me too. It was real simple. I followed it from the very beginning. And it's just,
I felt like God was coming to me in that movie. It was a movie I didn't want to see because at the time I was mad at Keanu Reeves. I don't know why, but I was. I love him. I'm sorry that I think my ego was just being a butt face. How can you not like Keanu Reeves? It's so rude. Anyway, I didn't want to see the movie, but then I watched it, and he's a computer programmer, and I was a computer programmer. Yes. He was being sought after for something, and he had this higher purpose. All that stuff, I felt like something was coming for me, like knocking on my head now, like, hey, stupid computer programmer lady, I'm talking to you. Pay attention to this. And then it blew my mind, and it allowed me to start seeking something spiritual. I no longer looked at religious people and their judgmental ways as God. now I saw God as, maybe there's just something bigger. That's not what they are showing me. It's not what religious people are showing me. There's something bigger out there. I'm going to find it. I want to find it.
Yes. And this is Azra. And it is once the illusion has fell, like when I left the cave and all of my aspects walked out in front of me and I saw, it's so humbling. I don't know the word. It's like, was like Michelle, she tells me, she said, she said, was that your spiritual awakening? And I said, I don't honestly, maybe, because I changed. I am not the same Azra that I was before. I'm not the same son Krishna had. I'm different. So it possibly, but when you see it in front of you, but all my illusions had dropped and crumbled right then and there. Everything that I thought was this to the creator, but when I seen it on the illusion dropped, it was almost like I took that red pill, like in your Matrix show, and it all fell. And then I seen everything for what it really was. And then it's a shame to me that humans cannot see what I saw, that when I came out, but it showed that he had enough, I don't know the word that you would say, he forgiveness, and he was grateful that I came out. And to see people that I thought everybody was just going to like shoot arrows at me, just destroy his energy as he walks out, because I was still under that delusion.
Right.
Once again, illusion.
Right.
But when I left, that wasn't the case. And I think that's a lot of people are afraid to come out because you heard the sin, and that was my thing, sin. And you've seen how all my aspects, and I had some nasty aspects. But he saw there was love here. There's still love. And that's what he looks at you humans. He wants you to awaken to a place that he has made. It's a beautiful place. Now when I meditate, I close my eyes, I look inward because I want my outer world to match what I feel in here. I want my world to express what I feel. I want humans to know what I think Cosmo's messing with him. He's over there standing.
Turtle fell off the log.
Well, Cosmo's standing there talking and tapping. So yes.
That's probably what did it. They don't like when people walk over to him while they're on the
Cosmo's sitting there. He's messing. He's tapping on.
He won't fall.
Well, he's not over here now. He's over here. But he's like Lucaeus. He just fidgets.
Yeah, he's fidgety.
Yes, he's very fidgety. But that's what I feel, it's just catching everything up to Mother Gaia. Because when I came out, I had to catch my energies back up to her when you're in a cave. So I had to catch up all my vibrations. But when it did, I felt the buzzing. I felt everything, the tears, the shaking, but I was grateful. And like you wake up one day, you're just grateful. You see the world more colorful, like you were describing that snow day and the teenagers walking out and just looking at the snow for the first time.
Yeah.
For me, that was beautiful because it's like an awakening happening, so you're awakening to Mother Gaia, you're waking up to her energies. And she wants that. That's what he wants you to do. If you really want to I feel nature is the best way. I mean, I'm always going to enforce that. Not enforce, not the right word, but I always say, you want to go outside. But when you're outside, it's just something different than being in that's
get outside of her box. Go outside of your box and go enjoy the out there. It's awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. That's what you should do. Take the screen away, go out. My favorite place to go was Mount Kailash. I sit on the steep with Azura and I close my eyes. I look at the water underneath. I mean, I look at everything now in so much different beauty. When you're a spiritual awakening, that's what's going on. Your eyes are awakening to something brand new. But it's always been there. You just didn't notice it there. You were so busy concentrating. You like if you're depressed and sad, you'll see depressing and sad things. But when you wake up now, the world is different. It's different. It's like a whole, like your eyes just wake up for the first time.
It's like, so Scott and I got water the other day and I took a picture of the sky because I thought it was a good analogy for this. So I'm going to see if I can show it to the screen. So there's a blue sky there, but there's all the clouds. So you can't really see it, but you can see it in spots. But the blue sky is always there. I thought that was a pretty decent representation of God's always there. It's just been clouded. It's just been clouded from our vision. So we didn't necessarily see it.
Well, when I walked out of the cave, when I walked out, he was cloud. It wasn't like I seen everything. I mean,
Right.
I'm going through sensory, but the sea and the light, you can't, you have to really, it's as, he is kind of clouds, but is bright. And there is no, I mean, there's no shape or form to the creator. I saw Jesus, the avatar,
Right.
because he was human, but the creator for himself, that's just a lot of energy.
Yep.
That's just how I would describe as like a big ball of light. Maybe it's how you humans, but it's the light that you can't describe the colors. Not in a million years could I tell you the colors. It was just so breathtaking.
It sounds.
Huh?
Does the God energy emit sounds?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Like,
Not,
these sounds or like words? Like how does?
Hmm. It's like you're all like that. But you feel it. You feel the vibration. It's
Right.
hard to describe it. Well, you feel it. You can sense it. You can see it. You can see it in waves. Like how, for example, that's why the human. I'm not sure all what the human's capabilities because I'm not human.
Right.
Maybe it was okay as that, but myself, I could see the waves. Like for example, the vibration was waves. I felt my whole body tremble. You've seen her human body tremble, but mine was more trembling.
Wow.
I could hear the sensory, but it's a calm, like that, but very calming. But it was vibrate within me. So it was very like the earth is like his name Yahweh means it's a vibration, and that his name is a vibration. So if you say his name, you could literally explode. I mean, it's not advisable. His real name, you would, but your earth is a vibration. That's how the earth was made, vibrational, and that it's just vibration. When I walked out, did you know there were storms and thunderstorms, everything, because there was Mother Gaia once again going, whoa. When I walked in, it was raining. When I walked out, it was raining, but it went to sun quickly after because of all that vibration hitting. It's just a lot of vibration even for her, so she's got to adjust to that.
Yeah.
So but now as a human, I would imagine you would feel it. I would imagine if you talk to your Jack Valentine and he's around those redwoods, I imagine he senses and feels it. I imagine all course through his body, I imagine he feels it. I'm using it as an example because Michelle had a weird dream that she was sitting by the redwoods, and before she fell asleep, she's reading a Jack Valentine when he had his pictures of his cabin. So that kind of made sense why she would have dreamt that. Yeah. But I'm using him as an example because if he's in nature, so he's probably feeling it in the sensory of the trees and that. So I imagine you would just feel it, sense it, smell it. I mean, the vibration is however. Right. And that's a spiritual awakening. It's just it's hard to describe when you're going through that, but it's always good to experience for yourself. What does it feel for you? Do you feel it? Do you sense it? Which sense comes out stronger when you do? But for me, it was definitely because all of my senses were awakened. Right. For a human, I'm not 100% sure. I don't know because like I said, I'm not human. But that's an interesting question, though. Yeah. But I mean, how do you feel, for example? What vibration when you say God? What vibration for you?
I thought your answer was super interesting because I was like taking notes and stuff before this, and I was trying to think if I wanted someone to connect with God easily, what would I do? And I started to think, just the sound of creation, that sound out of all the meditations, to do an Om meditation is very powerful because you feel it. Mm-hmm. So for you to say that, I agree. That sound is like the sound of creation, that vibration. Once you you feel it and your whole insides vibrate, like you connect there, it takes you there. And then I feel like you just feel this heat and love. Like I feel like sometimes a blanket gets put on me or that I'm being covered. I feel very protected and very safe. Right. I'll find an Om meditation and put it in the comments. So if you want to check it out, if anybody wants to check it out, that's always very powerful. It's a quick way to align to the divine.
It is. And when you do it, put your hand like on your upper stomach, and you should be vibrating your lower stomach. You when you do it, you should feel it just vibrate right in that area. You should just feel a vibration as you say it. I'm not going full,
Right.
but you should just feel the vibration. You'll just feel it all over your body. And however do you respond to it? And that'd be worth journaling. How do you feel? You could, and just try it for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. But don't sit, but you got to take time with it. You can't just hurry it.
Right.
It's a process. Spiritual awakening is a lifetime process. You have many more lives. Maybe you don't, maybe you do. I would guess probably, with this going on right now, spiritual awakening, humans have many more lives that they're going to go. Well, then don't worry about, did I catch it all in this life? You have another one, you will catch it and do it in that one. So, I mean, because don't live your life in books and looking and doing that. Okay, Trevor. Sorry, Trevor's.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm in the middle of talking and he's up. But don't be, just go and explore your environment around you, and that to experiment with your spiritual awakening and what vibration helps you. Like Om might help us.
Yeah.
But find your vibration. Each chakra has their own vibration. And if you're off on any of your chakras, that would be interesting too. Go and find whatever sound. Maylin has something for that too. It's a chakra healing for each of your chakras. As a certain sound that you just say, and you clear that yourself.
Yep.
So, and there's singing bowls, and there's so many different beautiful ways. The sound of water flow. That's mine. Mine is water. I've always been fascinated by water. And as a matter of fact, when I sit on my steep with her, the water flows, and it's just a natural rhythm to the water. And for me, that is the most relaxing. I could just sit all day and listen to that. But it's the vibration of the water for my ears, because everything in this realm, I don't know, the sounds are amazing. When you come from another planet, you come here, and that's why sometimes with humans, they don't know they're from somewhere else, so they don't appreciate everything here until they go, until they're out of this body. Then like, oh snap, I don't remember, but see, I'm fortunate to know that what I have on my planet compared to what I have here. And it's amazing because I'm in an in-between right now. I'm not here, but I'm not there. And so I get to enjoy, but I don't really see them. I can, contact. But on the earth plane, it's amazing and it's beautiful. And I wish people would see the beauty that I see. But everybody will have a different thing, like skies or water, whatever is your thing and vibration. Follow that, and that's right for you. Yeah. This could be good, but maybe somebody wants to do something completely different. But you have to discover that for yourself, and your spiritual team will guide you there. You just have to ask. You have to ask your divine, or you ask the universe, ask your spiritual team, but they will guide you to the best for you, for your spiritual awakening. They will guide you.
Absolutely. I think another thing is sometimes you start seeing sequential numbers like 10, 10, 11, 11, and 12, 12. And so 10, 10 is like saying you're like ready for a new life, that you're coming to a completion. And 11, 11 is divine. And today is 1:11. And we did this at 1 o'clock because that's divine. It's like blessed by God. It's unification. It's unity.
Right, absolutely. Look for number sequences. I mean, Michelle gets a lot of 111. She gets a lot of 111, or something, a pause on 1111, and that is it too. And her another sign that she gets is a lot of owls. She never understood the owl reference. She thought it was because of Gabby Bernstein's book, because she said owls was hers. And actually, Michelle's, the reason she used to see that is because of Azura. You got to remember, Azura was.
I just thought because she could see in the dark.
Well, also she could.
Yes.
Well, because Azura could see in the dark.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Azura was hers was the owls. Well, if you know Morgan with Merlin, that was hers was owls, because she could see in the dark with Merlin. They could see in the dark. So exactly. So Azura's was to see, because remember, I'm just a light. When we traveled around, I was the light, she was the dark. Where's a yin to the yang, So she was always the darker force. That's why Loki. That's why Loki has he's around still, because of the connection of the dark. When I say dark, it doesn't mean that, but he has a better way of explaining things in that. But owls can see and they can perceive things, and their information more into the dark. That's why he likes the wolves, for example, wolves for him, that's how they are, but they're smart. You don't want to mess with a wolf. That's why I had a life as a wolf. You don't want to mess with that. But that's why owls are, but exactly. I like how you did that. I took it one way and you took it another. And I love that.
Yeah. Another thing that about Job is at the end, he talks about how there's things here we don't understand. And he mentioned Leviathan and the behemoth, that there are grand creatures here that need to be respected, that we don't understand. They may be seen as dark things, but they have a purpose and they are just as loved by God as everything else. And when I read that, I really thought of Loki. He's not what people think he is. But yet he works with the divine. He's still used by the divine because he has a purpose. He has a connection, and I thought that was another great thing just to bring up about Job.
Well, because at any point, no, he took Cosmo under his wing, Loki. I mean, there's a lot I'm discovering about what he has done while I was sleeping.
Yeah.
When his fragment had left him, like I said, he's at peace now. He's more, and the creator does use him. You heard for your friend, for Cosmo, and for you girls, and he'll come through, and for other people. So that's the divine will use his gifts, like I was saying with you and your sister. You have a lighter way of seeing things. She has a darker way of seeing things. But everybody has a light and the dark, and you always have a friend that complements that light to your dark. And that's okay. If you say, well, I'm dark, meaning I'm goth, well, that's however it just means to you. It doesn't necessarily mean like she's going to wear black. Maybe she will, maybe she won't, but it's how she feels on the inside. Yeah. She just sees things on a different point of view, but Azra always did see things different. That's why I loved about her, because she'd see things different than me. I would describe a situation like, for example, a beautiful sunset or something. I'd be like, it's because of the light, the beauty, the colors. And then, the night would hit, she would say the bonfires, the smell of the fire, the crackling of leaves or something. And she would have a whole other view of the same thing. Maybe I'm seeing, but something different.
Yeah.
And I had respect and was respecting both, because at the time I'm thinking, well, that's a little weird, because you got to think, when Krishna is your father, you go, but he understood that about her. He goes, she sees beauty in a different way than you see beauty, because he can see it all the way around. He's like and dark. He's all the way around. But to me and her, it was a compliment. So, and I love this is that when I came out and I seen that you were the lighter, she was the darker, and then Loki protecting, that makes total sense to me, because that is Loki. And the fact that he was so well loved, he's still here. I thought when I came out, he was going to just walk out. That was going to be the end of Loki, but it is not. He's still here. As the divine has its use for him. Spiritual awakening, I would say, happened for him too. He calls himself now. He just told this to David and the kids. He said he feels like a neutered version of himself. Because he says he doesn't really do what he did before. He says, I'm not out doing what I did. That went to my fragment, the horse, the whole thing, that all with the other one. He says, I'm good with all of that. But he says he feels more tame now. Like, I don't want to go do these things, but he's still sarcastic and snide. He'll still knock Locaeus down. I have to hear all of that, well, I'm on my mountain peak listening. But love just has a way of bringing things and spiritual awakening. So even a dark has love. It's just they have a different way. And Cosmo had a love. He just had a different way. He was most comfortable in his darker areas. That's all that really means. Azura was more comfortable in the darker areas, where you love the light. You love the going light. She loves the nighttime, So it just, but that's fascinating. That's how more people can listen,
And I used to be pretty dark, but after my spiritual awakening and stuff, I started to really lighten up. And I think of the Johnny Cash song where he says he'll always be the man in black until the world's a good place. Then he can wear a rainbow. I always feel like, you can wear rainbows now, Johnny. Like, it's cool. You can wear rainbows now. We're lightening it up. We don't have to stay in black. And I don't know. Come on, Johnny, let's go get the rainbow tie.
He wears some rainbow.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she wears a lot of the black, but I think it's just, I think it's just a negative. It's always been her thing. She's I just like wearing black. She said your grandma was always colorful. She's I always wanted to wear
Yeah.
black, and that was just kind of what she wanted to do, the vampires and everything. She said that's what I. But now that makes sense to her now. Why the vampires? Why all of this? Why all of that? Now it makes sense to her and you as well.
Yeah.
Like why you girls did the things that you did.
And why were we drawn to the stuff we were drawn to, like that Lady Hawk movie? We would both cry at the Lady Hawk movie, and it didn't make sense, but now it makes sense. Like we just miss each other.
Well, I see Azura. I mean, I could see Azura. You girls, it's hard for us to see because you got to remember we have to kind of keep contact with our planet, but we got it over here. So when we are channeling, we get a glimpse.
Right.
And it's very, I detach from it. Locaus has a hard time detaching from it, but that's another reason for detachment is for that reason, because if I allowed that to bother me all the time, and it used to bother Loki all the time, but now he's at peace with that. He understands more. The fragmented part that had to have that attached is not there no more. So he doesn't feel that, that attachment anymore.
Yeah.
But that's also self-love. When you detach, it's self-love. Is it saying you love yourself enough that you can take care of you? When somebody else comes into your life, they're just complimenting what you already have. So when I say, and it's like you let go, you surrender, you detach. And I'll go the Jack Valentine, when he let go and he surrendered and he went on his journey and look where he is. He had to let go, he had to surrender, and he had to just go. But look at all the adventures. And that's and he detached from things. He left. And that's a good example. And that is detaching. And that's when we say that, it just means when you go, you can't take it with you. You come with your soul and you leave with your soul. But that's it. You don't leave with this, and everything you hold dear, like your jewelry, that doesn't go with you. It's all here.
Yeah.
So.
And things we've done, we've never had anybody come through asking about their stuff. We've had the loved one still here asking what the loved one on the other side thinks about what they did with their stuff, but no one comes through and asks about their stuff. They ask about their loved ones.
And they don't care about that.
Right.
That's one of the things they don't
really remember stuff. Stuff isn't what's remembered from them. They remember their connections to their loved ones, to the friends.
Yes. And the several things that questions your mom has asked about your Cleo and things that, but none of that even matter to her anymore, because they're not there on that same length anymore. It's like whatever you do. How many times have we had readings where, well, I wasn't present, but Locaus is telling me, where you girls have had readings where they would ask about something,
yep,
and they had no idea what you're talking about, because it doesn't matter to them anymore, because it's just let it go. It doesn't, what it is, and it's to them, once they left it, it was up to you now to decide what to do with it.
Yeah.
And they're content with whatever you decided to do is probably the best for the highest outcome.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. Is there any last minute things about spiritual awakening? I feel like we covered a lot of stuff.
I feel that a lot was covered, and that I feel that, well, maybe we could go through like different symptoms. We didn't really go through symptoms. So why don't you describe your symptoms, and I'll have her describe. Okay. Michelle will have describe her symptoms, and that way that would give, because we went around all different things, but I don't think we went on that. This is like basic information.
I had headaches. I'd have ear pains. I feel needles in my body. I had just weird sensations. I'd hear weird things. I started to feel like that there was something I needed to remember. Like just, I felt very lost. I felt very confused. I'd have an increased heart rate a lot. I'd get random anxiety. I'd cry randomly or have like just random hysterical laughter. Like just like emotions and things were happening that wasn't aligning to what my experience was. Like things were just happening and I couldn't control it.
And this is Michelle, and mine was similar to that. I mean, I was getting headaches and just, I don't know, I'd feel weird, just, and I would hear buzzing. My ear would ring all the time as a kid, always rang, didn't understand what that meant. And I would see, like, maybe I'd see something, but then what is it what I'm seeing? That's when Monica, we're at Enchanted Moments, when our very last exam, she wanted me to describe what spirit guide did she have. And I'm sitting there going, I haven't, and I can't do this. She knew I could do it. I didn't know I could do it. And she even said that I described perfectly. Two things that she told me to do to pass our exam for mediumship. And she said, you just had to believe. And that's the biggest thing on spiritual awakening. You have to believe. I didn't believe. And if somebody would have told us how many years ago we'd be doing this, I wouldn't have believed it. But, you know, Sylvia Brown, it was just, I was so hooked on Sylvia Brown. And I was always hooked on her words, what she had to say. And I mentioned Zach Bagans. I mean, but that was one of the first things, but that kind of led me to start wanting to understand spirits. And when Grandma passed and all of that, I wanted to know where are they at. You know, I would see, we'd had dreams, but I wanted to understand totally, you know, like where are they at? What happens when you leave this realm? There has to be so much more in all the dreams, and now meeting the Lazarus and all our dreams, everything has led to them. Yeah. Everything has led to them. So the spiritual awakening, it was just different symptoms of just being confused of why. But we had each other, we had sources we'd go through, but it was really discovering on our own these things and stuff. And the path we were going to go for a bit. I investigated. They say ghost. I don't say ghost investigation because I was investigating spirits. I was trying to help spirits. Yeah. I wasn't wanting to do that whole whatever, but I wanted to help the spirits pass to the light. Right. So it was a whole other thing what I was trying to do, like maybe like Amy Allen tries to do, you know, tries to take them home with you, and yet, or you know, I do that now. I have them leave mom and dad. They attract some of these spirits, but they're children, so I have them just come here and they stay here until they're ready, and then I go ahead and I pass them, like she would do, because I want to make sure they're okay. Then they usually like staying here, and it's hard to pass them.
That scared me.
But that's my spiritual awakening, though.
Yeah, I think I agree with all that stuff. I think I started to see stuff too, shadows and orbs, and just I started to feel very guided with what I watched and what I read, and like everything seemed to be flowing to me for my benefit.
Right. And
come here, go to your room.
But yeah, that's what everything with me as well. It had all that.
Yeah.
So.
Gosh. All right. So we're doing another live on the 25th. I guess we'll figure out what time. I don't know what topic we want to do. Maybe how to make a dog not bark.
No, this is okay. Yeah, probably. Well, Cosmo's over there messing. Yeah. Cosmo's walking around, so
yeah. So, well, I guess we'll decide what our next Tuesday teaching will be, and then we're doing another live and Ask Azra this Thursday, right?
Yes, at 7.
At 7 o'clock. That's right. We're going to see if anybody can join us at 7, and for that, you can come on and ask any questions you might have. And I guess if no one joins us, we'll have something planned to fill the time with some wisdom that people might want anyway.
Yeah, and this is Azra. And just in case, we can do another, there's like a forecast and see, you know, what we get, you know, through, you know, maybe do a teaching, you know, we'll figure, we'll just let it go how it goes.
God's got this. We don't. I've been noticing more and more, like, in our first video, we say that we named these energies Lazarus. We didn't name anything.
No, they were already named.
It was already named. God just told me what it was named, and I've been thinking I've been involved. I'm not involved. They're just giving me a dialogue, and I'm saying it at this point. I am not in charge of nothing. It's God always, and I see that more and more every day, and that's really helping me detach. Because if whatever happens, you're just a vessel. Yeah, right. It's just happening through me. It's not me.
Yeah, you're just a vessel. You have to trust, let go, and that's why she just backs up and she listens without editing anything. Sometimes she's like, "Why did you say that? Why did you that?" But she allows it to be said because that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
And you're just a vessel. We're information, the divine. You know, we're you know the planetary as well. As long, you know, you got Locatus, but we each have our own. But Lazarus was given by the divine.
Yes.
And this is a unique way of getting, or people can't understand what we're trying to say, you understand what we're saying.
Yes.
And the message can be conveyed, so it always comes from the divine. Your divine is making all of this happen. So it's always trust the divine.
And
the
he's
divine.
upgrading us. It's like we're going from from DOS to Windows 95.
I didn't understand anything you just said, but I trust you.
I'm using my computer knowledge. I said I was going to use it. I had to throw it out there for a second. So I'm done.
Yeah, the only one I have is from the Matrix, the red pill and the blue pill. That's as far as it gets for me. And then I don't understand any of this stuff.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So I think we covered it pretty good.
I would say that everything. So I'll bring Marcus through. We always have Marcus
Perfect.
instincts, as and this is Marcus.
Hi, Marcus.
And boys at the end, of course.
Yep.
But I feel everything was expressed beautifully, and spiritual awakening is a wonderful, beautiful thing to just upgrade you, one to your planetary, so you can feel that again, and you're just upgrading to Mother Gaia, to this realm. So it's like you get all these new energies that is wonderful, and you have several upgrades. You don't have just one; you have several, depending on where Mother Gaia is, depending on how all you humans are taking care of her. Then she's going to upgrade your energy. So the more you take care of her, the more you upgrade your energy. The more beauty you'll start to see. It's like taking the fog away. And it's beautiful when you start taking that fog away. And that's what she wants to do, is you take that fog away. And so please enjoy the rest of your day, evening, wherever you are watching this video, whenever you're watching this video, and know you are loved unconditionally. You're loved, you are loved, and your planet is here to just enjoy everything that is here that your creator has given you. It is beautiful. And it's in the time that you have to enjoy it. It's not long enough. I understand all about this. Is not long enough. I felt when I came here, I had plenty of time. When I left, I'm like, I didn't have plenty of time. So please enjoy it day to day to day, because you never know when it's going to be your time to leave to the next level of your journey. So let's enjoy what you have now. It's beautiful. So enjoy your spiritual awakening. It's a beautiful process.
Absolutely. Thank you, Marcus. I love you. And peace, love, and light to all creations.
Absolutely.
Yes. We'll see you in our next live, in our next video.